Hello everybody, and welcome back to another installment of the 6-liter Nelson swap going on here. So this weekend I got a lot done on the car. It should look like the engine bay is starting to fill up a little bit more than it was. This weekend's focus was to try and get the coolant system and the cooling system completed, and I had the radiator mounted in the last video, so I needed to figure out upper and lower hose, coolant reservoir, heater lines, all that stuff. So here's what I ended up doing. The upper hose is off of an Escalade and is pretty darn close to the right shape. I mean, it comes up a little bit here, but there wasn't an exact hose match for the application of the vehicle, since this outlet is so low compared to the truck when the outlet's up here, so everything sits more level. But that'll work. I do have the two pigtails that go on the fan, so I need to wire those to a relay, and I think I'm just going to put them on a manual switch for now. The lower hose is the factory F-body radiator hose that I just cut this end off of over here and kicked it this way to get rid of the kink. The overflow bottle is out of, I don't remember. I went to the junkyard. I think these are all pretty standard. I think this one might actually be out of an Escalade or a Silverado, but they all pretty much came with the same stuff. But for them, they sit the bottle in this way. I didn't have the room to do that, so I mounted it this way. So I made some brackets down here. There's a bracket, and this is this that has a stud that sticks through on this side and then bolts here. And then I just got the height right so that when you shut the hood, it's not hitting the hood, obviously. So I had to tinker with that to get the height correct. And then there's this bracket here in the corner, this black bracket here, and there's another mounting hole right here, and that one is just like an L bracket that comes over like this and this way for the shape that it slopes down on the inner skirt, and then flattens out to bolt to the top. And then I made this diving board type guy here in the front, and then welded a nut on the bottom, and then it goes down under in this hole, and then a bolt goes through. And then, I mean, that thing is, I can shake the car with the overflow bottle. This hose is the factory overflow hose that goes into the truck or Escalade. It's just cut down to pick the right shape out of it that I needed and clamped it down. The lower hose, I've actually ended up using the factory Y bracket that goes into the water pump. This is the 3/4 size. So there's 5/8 and 3/4. This size is a 3/4, and it has this Y in it. So the factory one that I pulled out, this was 5/8, and it has these plastic bands. Let me zoom. There are these plastic bands here. So if you just zip these with a cutoff wheel on either side and then smack them with a hammer, they break off. These rubber, you can cut this rubber line off, and then there's a barb fitting under there. And it actually works out that it's for the 3/4 size. So this is 3/4 hose to mate to the Fox upper, actually the lower of the two back there. It would be the one on the right is the 3/4. And then that solved that issue. The only thing I'm not exactly 100% happy with is, since this is all so tight right here, this is somewhat collapsed. It's not fully collapsed, but it is under some tension. So I might have to put something, cut it, make a splice, and put like a piece of metal in here somewhere, so I can rotate it and get rid of that. So that took care of all the cooling stuff, making brackets, getting everything there hooked up and in. Then I got the battery box mounted in the back of the vehicle. So, and I just got the carpet and everything put back in. This is battery box mounted. I still need to finish this cable and put this up through here and put this one through. It's a side post. I just went and got the fittings for it. I did take some footage of what this looked like before I put the carpet down, and I will show you that now. So you can see that I routed, everything's now under the carpet back through here and comes up through, and I just cut the carpet, but this is mounted in there nice and solid. It comes over through here through a grommet, and I'll show you in just a second the underside. Okay, so hopefully we can see under here. So it comes down from the back, and I just used some small self-tapping screws, and these ones are just single screw hole style padded clamps, and then I used a bunch of these U-shaped ones. So I put them here, here, and then I just ran this down the length of the car. So the front of the battery cable comes up through right here. It comes out through 2 of these clips, another clip here, drilled a hole for a zip tie, and then zip tied it up through here, and it goes through with all the other cables right there. Tire doesn't come close to it when turning. That comes out right up here and comes down, and I put an end on it, and I'm gonna mount a positive post since I'm getting rid of the factory Ford starter solenoid, so I can stack my positive connections up. And then I did also make, it's laying under the car, a positive starter cable, which is going to go from here, come down under the cross member and into the starter. Only issue is it's got long tube headers. The starter's going to be a real pain to get wired because there's not a lot of room for the cable to run. So got one of these. It's a battery bolt extender. I'm going to re-tap this inside section of the tube to screw onto the positive post, the battery positive for the starter, and then that'll bring the back of the starter solenoid out to match the same height as the body of the starter itself, so then the cable can go on and doesn't hit or have to go off at an odd angle. I got the battery post to put in the battery, and then we'll just keep working through stuff. There's the fuel line. I got a return line I got to get bent up, the master cylinder that I got to get back on it. So lots to do, but I'll try and get some stuff done here in the next few days. I also got the Msd Box wiring in. I do need to put the crank position sensor wire for the MSD in while it's out down there. And I think I'm going to mount the box back there. But I'll take some more video once I get more done. Have a good one.